Hello and good night. If we have not met, my name is Rachel, and I'm very excited to share with you guys tonight about some simple supports for your emotions. So, this is one of the most common things that people ask me when they want to start using natural supports for their body or their home. One of the most common things and the first thing that comes up is, how do I support my emotions, or how can I support some things in my daily life and feel more balanced and just feel overall well. So I'm going to focus more on the emotional aspect of it, just simply because that's something that I'm super interested in, and it's because something that it just pops up all the time. People come to me towards that. So I'm going to start by first putting on a bit of an oil. This is called a scent tent, if you've never heard of it. So you just put a drop of oil in your hand, rub it together. Hey guys. And you just take 3 big deep breaths. So this is also a really big tip. If you have an Apple Watch, a cool trick that you can do is turn it on and look at your heart rate. I tend to kind of run a little bit high and can feel anxious and just a little overwhelmed at sometimes. So if I look at my watch and I'm feeling that way, I will literally do 3 big breaths and watch the number just drop. Like your stress level drops, your anxiety will drop, you will feel calmer and feel more balanced. So I'm going to do 3 big breaths. Whether you have oils or not, you don't have to do that with it. And just let myself relax before we start. So breathing is a simple support. I'm going to be talking about emotions, but breathing is one of the ways that we can truly support our emotions and kind of reground us to feel that sense of calm. So oils and emotions just truly go together. When I started using essential oils about 4 years ago, I was really looking for physical support. So I had acne issues, I had hair loss, I was looking for those physical things that I couldn't seem to fix, those outward things. But now the more that I do the personal work, the personal development, the more that I'm in tune with my own body, my own mind, my own heart, I know that those things were stemming from an emotional place. So from a stress, a place of lack, low self-worth, all those things. And we're not going to cover that in 20 minutes here tonight. But my point is that physical symptoms can sometimes manifest from emotional things. So taking care of all those pieces of our body, not just physical things, is truly important. So I focus a lot of what I do every single day on my mind, on my heart, really focusing on emotional supports because it affects your absolute entire body. So I'm going to talk about a Young Living starter bundle. So if you have no idea about Young Living, we've been around for 26 years. We own our own farms around the world, which is such magic because oils like frankincense that I'm going to talk about are only grown in 2 places in the world. So if you don't have a farm where you can grow the right soil, the right climate, if you don't have that and we're getting oils that aren't produced the same, they might have chemicals or fillers or synthetics, like we don't want that. If we want to be supporting our body naturally, we want the highest quality, pure, nothing else in there. You want to know that what you have is safe, that you can feel good about it, and it's truly effective. So I'm going to talk about some staple oils from the starter bundle, and then I'm going to talk about some supports. And I've never really worded it like this or taught about this. I talk about this starter bundle all the time, and most of the people that get started with oils get the starter bundle because it's just the best bang for your buck. It makes sense, and there's truly head-to-toe wellness, which there is. But I'm going to talk about it more from an emotional stance because I feel like people aren't maybe utilizing these oils in the starter bundle enough that you can for emotions, right? They are head to toe wellness. That's why we get the bundle. That's why you get a starter bundle, or it used to be called a starter kit, and that's just because the head to toe wellness. But the amount of supports that you have for emotions in here is amazing. Okay, so we're going to do staples and then we're going to do supports. So there's 11 oils in the Canadian starter bundle. Like I said, head to toe, it's what you want. It's the ones I always turn back to. But we're going to go over the emotional staples and then the emotional supports. And these do many other things. One oil can do hundreds of things for the body or support us in so many different ways. But I'm going to talk briefly on them touched to emotions, okay? So first, I'm going to talk about lemon. Lemon is a calming scent. It's uplifting. Everybody knows what lemon is like. Scent is powerful. Oils and emotions just go together. And the power of scent is something that is just it's a beautiful gift. So if you've ever smelt, let's say, you know, your grandma's baking and that brings you back to a certain memory, or mine used to always be, for some reason, my grandma's laundry. Like, I remember smelling her sheets and like they just smelled like fresh and they smelled like grandma's house. Like, scent is part of your brain, part of your limbic system. So things like oils, you breathe them in and they go straight into your brain, into your limbic system, and that's part of your brain that controls the mood, the memory, the emotions. So it's a really powerful tool that we can use things like essential oils to kind of trigger that and support it. So lemon is so calming, it's uplifting. It contains something called limonene in it, which is a powerful tool for mood. So if you don't know what limonene is, just give that a Google. But it's one that is really simple for people to just start breathing in and start feeling kind of that peaceful and more happiness, because it's such a common scent, right? So we've all smelled lemons. We know what they smell like. Usually they're fresh. They kind of bring happiness, joy, those kinds of feelings. So having a very, very common scent that we can kind of use to our support is powerful. I just started taking an aroma yoga course. I'm just doing the videos online before, but one of the oils she raves about is lemon. And she talks about how, I don't think she's done these studies, but talks about studies where there's been people that have Alzheimer's and dementia. And one of the oils they use is lemon, because it is such a common scent. Like, it can bring you back. It can kind of snap you back into like a memory you might have, or it's just something that you remember. So I've actually been using a lemon a lot more since I watched that a few nights ago, and I've been diffusing it just straight lately, just to kind of harness in that power. So lemon has a million other amazing supports for your body, but for emotional support, it's great for mood and calming, and it has limonene. So make sure you look that up. Lavender also has a million and one supports for the body, but great for emotions. So how does that really work? It is called a calmine or a nervative, which just means that it calms your nerves, it settles you. That might be if you're someone that's a little like high stress, or you're going through stress, if you want a little help unwinding before bed. It could be one that you rub on the bottoms of your feet. So there's a million and one ways to use oils, but some of my favorites are what I showed you guys, tenting. So a scent tent like that. You can rub them on the back of your neck, behind your ears. I have rollers, so you can carry things with you. Make sure you're utilizing your tools, especially for your emotions, so that you can have them with you throughout the day. So rolling on your wrists is a really nice one. Rolling behind your ears. You can mix up your own blends, or you can just simply take a bit of lavender and go like this and go like that. Done. Okay, so there's so many ways to use them. You can rub on the bottoms of your feet, maybe put a drop of lavender in your hands, get some lotion or some coconut oil, and just give yourself a relaxing foot massage before bed. You could also pop them in some Epsom salts, throw on some music, dim the lights, have a bath before bed. There's so many ways that you can support your emotions using oils. It doesn't just have to be diffusing. Love diffusing, have a diffuser going, always. But there's so many different ways to do it, and I'm a really big fan of topical, so that's the way that I use them mostly. And with oils and emotions, and oils in general, make sure you're using them before you need them. So I use emotional supporting oils morning, I bring them with me throughout the day, and I use them every evening. I anchor them to things like meditation in the morning, meditation in the evening, and then I bring rollers and oils with me to apply throughout the day. This is just because I know that I want my body supported before I need it, right? We all need support every single day, especially with emotions, but I'm not going to wait till I'm, super high stressed or get in an anxious situation. If I know that it might be coming, I can use my oils to support me. So talking live still brings me stress, even though it brings me so much joy. So for me, I roll oils behind my ears before I start. I do tenting like that. That's why I started this call like this, just because it's truly powerful if we use them before we really need them, right? Why wait through halfway through this class to feel anxious and sweaty before I use oils, right? Like, give it some time. So lavender, amazing for that. So many other benefits, but it's calming and supporting and relaxing vibes is just something that everybody loves. So if you've never smelled real lavender as well, Young Living has, like I said, pure oils. They're therapeutic grade, which means there's nothing else in them. And I hated the smell of lavender before I smelled Young Living lavender, just because I thought it smelled like an old lady, and it just did not smell good to me, and it didn't relax me or calm me. But when I smelled real lavender and I smelled what was in it, nothing else but the pure plant, it's really calming. And nothing saying you can't mix these things together, right? So if you like lemon and you like lavender, great, mix that together. Let your body and your senses just guide you. And if, let's say, what's an oil that might be different? Okay, I hate the smell of fennel. If fennel is calming to you, then use fennel, right? Like, let your body and your emotions and your sense of scent really guide you, because that's powerful. So, okay, so lemon, lavender. Peppermint. You might not think of peppermint when you think of emotional support, but I think it's an emotional staple. So, why is that? So, it is refreshing. It kind of helps open the airways. Like I talked about breathing, we want to make sure that we're breathing deeply in and out. If I get too hot and I get flustered, I get uncomfortable, which makes me unhappy. So I want to make sure that I have peppermint with me. If I have tension in my neck or in my back, I'm also going to be a little bit more unhappy. Like, emotions aren't just an emotional thing, right? Like, emotions and mental health, they're also physical. Like I said, like, they go together. So peppermint is an emotional support. It can help, the mind and memory. There's been lots of studies of people, like students and people in offices studying with peppermint, and they're smelling it while they're, say, studying, and then they're smelling it again when they're writing a test, because it really helps with that memory in the mind. So peppermint is a staple for emotions. We just might not think of it as one. So love peppermint, always carry it with me. And again, has a million other uses, but for an emotional stance. Okay, frankincense. Frankincense is a special oil. Like I mentioned, it is grown in only 2 places in the world. So we are blessed to have a farm in Oman, and we're able to grow frankincense. So right where God intended, nature intended, the right soil, the right climate. There's traditional like harvesting used. We've got a farm there and a distillery, which means we are only getting the best oil, and it's frankincense. Okay, so frankincense is one that I really didn't love the smell of when I started using oils. To me, it reminded me of kind of incense, and I grew up going to the Catholic Church, so that smell actually, okay, sorry mom, but the smell of incense in church used to make me nauseated, and I'm not sure why. I'm not sure if we didn't eat before we used to go to church, but it always used to make me feel quite nauseated. So that kind of brought me back to that, and again, because scent and memory are linked. So it took me a while to actually start using frankincense and to love it, and I mixed lemon and frankincense together. And that just made me love it more, be able to use it without anything else, be able to fully love it and kind of get all the supports from it. So again, 1,000,001 uses for frank. However, it is very, very calming. It is considered holy oil. There's so many references in the Bible about frankincense and how it's been used throughout history. It's calming, it's great for meditation, it's good for more spiritual work and like mindset. It's such a powerful oil. I love it for sleep. I like to mix it with lavender. It's a special oil. One of my friends, she mentioned that I think it was in the roof of her mouth or under her tongue, anyways, and that's what really helped her with anxiety and panic in the last year, was using frankincense like this. And whether you rub it on your gums, underneath your neck, like that. Someone said they're using it as a perfume. Exactly. Like, you can use emotions to support yourself in other ways, not just diffusing. I love diffusing and it's fantastic, but making sure that we're doing these things throughout the day, morning, evening, always. Or start with a morning routine, work into an evening, or the opposite way. And then adding in these things throughout the day. So making sure you're having rollers on hand, making sure you're having your oils with you so that you can support your body when you need, especially with emotions. So frankincense is powerful. Love to do yoga with it, meditation. Like I said, it's in one of my sleep blends. It's a powerful, powerful traditional oil. So making sure that we're really honoring frankincense and using it to the fullest. And if you don't like it, like I did when I started, making sure that you're using it with something else just to make use. Okay. Northern Lights Black Spruce. This is the one that I tinted with. Love tree oils. So tree oils are very grounding. They're calming. They just kind of give you that like confidence and that stance of like, okay, well, I like to not like to, I slouch and I shouldn't, but a tree, like a tree stands tall, it's powerful, it's got its roots, like it knows where it's at. That's what grounding is. When you hear people say, oh, it's grounding, like tree oils and trees are grounding. So think of like a tall tree or someone standing strong in a meditative pose, like a spruce tree and Northern Lights black spruce. That's what I get from it. So love to do yoga with it. I love to diffuse it. Peppermint and black spruce are amazing to diffuse together. I love to roll on the bottoms of my feet before yoga and also do the tent with it like I showed you. I like it as a perfume. It's quite like calming and almost sweet smelling to me. Sleep, it's fantastic. If you've never tried black spruce and lavender, it's a must. And it's just a powerful oil. So if you think of animals in the wild and they're sleeping, they like to sleep under trees, kind of as like a protection and to help just with rest. Like trees are calming and supporting and grounding, and they just really give you that kind of you know, support, like you've got this and you can control your emotions, you can feel balanced, you can do whatever life takes on. Okay, I love black spruce. So those are all my staples. My last staple is copaiba, and this is one that I feel like isn't utilized enough. It doesn't really have much of a scent, to be honest. I think it kind of smells like black pepper, but it is a supportive oil for, if you think of CBD oil, it's similar to CBD. So it's not the same thing. Don't go saying it has the same properties. It doesn't. And I am not here to diagnose, to treat, to cure, none of those things. These are natural supports to work with your body and to support yourself. But copaiba has a compound called BCD, and it's similar to what CBD is. So not the same, but similar properties. So things like calming, good for inflammation, and it is a very potent oil when you mix it with other things. So it's known as an enhancer. So if I'm going to use, let's say, lavender, maybe in my bath salts before I go to bed, I can put lavender, plus I can put copaiba. It will have that like synergistic effect. They'll work better together. It'll be more supportive. So if you're making rollers and you want to bring them with you for emotional support, maybe add a couple drops of copaiba. It's going to give you the properties of copaiba, but it's also going to help kind of enhance the other oils. So that's why I consider it a staple one. And then, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so 6 out of the 11 oils in the Canadian Starter Bundle, I truly feel are emotional staples. So they're things that we should be using every single day or every single week or every single month throughout our routine, just in our daily lives, that support our emotions. And yes, they do a whole ton of other things. Like I said, it's a head to toe wellness cabinet. But for emotions, those are my staples. Then I'm going to briefly talk about my supports for emotions, okay? And this might be another way that you're looking at a starter bundle, not traditionally, let's say. So my support oil for emotions is panaway. This one is normally known for pain, but let me ask you what kind of mood you're in if you're in pain. Probably not a good one. I get grouchy, I get tired, I get snappy, I don't feel myself, I get tired. If I'm in pain, I'm not feeling my best. So that's why I feel like panaway, although it is most known for pain, it is an emotional support, because to feel our truly best, we have to be supporting our pain before we can support our emotions and feel our best. So that's a support one. Next one is RC. So this one is known for breathing support, respiratory, and I told you how important at the beginning of this talk, how important breathing is. So deep, big breathing, ins and outs, that calming breathing. And if you are feeling congested, if you're just not feeling, this needs some work, I like to keep RC in the shower just to tent with it and open up my airways. If you can't take big, deep, full breaths, you're going to feel more anxious. You're going to feel that piece of air in your chest tight and close up. So I think that RC is a emotional support. It might not be a staple, but I think it's a support. Next one, digize. Stomach issues, upset tummies, nausea, cramping, when you feel bloated. That's what it's normally for. But it's an emotional support, because who feels good when they have an upset stomach? I feel gross, I feel sour, I am moody, I am unhappy, I am not myself, and I don't feel good. I get that unhappy, grouchy person if I have a sore tummy, like I just do, right? So that's why I feel like it's an emotional support. It's not a staple, but it's a support, because if we're not feeling well here, we're not going to be feeling well here, we're not going to be feeling well here. So it's an emotional support. Okay. Next one, purification. This one's known for getting rid of smells, just like freshening the air. Another thing I mentioned, that scent is so powerful to our emotions and our memory and our brain, right? So if we have scents in our home that might not be appealing, they might be, making you kind of crinkle your nose. Is that going to support your emotion and going to make you feel good? No. So let's say someone cooks a fish in your house and you really hate the smell of fish. Is that going to make you happy? Probably not. It's going to be like, that power of scent goes into your mind and it affects your emotions, and you're going to be like, ooh, this is not for me. I just have a sour feeling. I don't like this. So diffuse purification, get rid of some of those scents, maybe add in like a lemon with it. That's a emotional support added with a staple, with a support, and maybe you'll get rid of that smell and start to feel better and kind of cleanse that air. So that's why I think it's a support and not a staple. And then last but not least, thieves. If you've heard of Young Living, you've probably heard of thieves. Why I think it's an emotional staple is because if our bodies aren't feeling well, if we're not healthy, if we're not staying well, if we are being run down, if we're not supporting our immune systems, we can't feel well emotionally. Like physical and emotional go together so well. So it is an emotional support. It's not an emotional staple. It might not help you. It might. Everyone's different, but for me, thieves is the one that I'm going to tent with, and it gets kind of warm, so I'm not going to do that in the first place, but I'm not going to tent with it and be like, I feel calm after smelling thieves. You might, and that might be you, and that's fine. Everyone's sense of smell is different. But if we're not feeling well physically, if we're run down and we're always, under the weather, and if we're not staying above the wellness line, we can't be supporting ourselves emotionally to the same extent, right? If we're feeling physically run down, okay? So that's why I think it's an emotional support. So, sorry, I'm just reading through some comments. I think that is such a cool thing. I've actually never talked about it like this. Ooh, I can't get off here. Okay. I've never talked about the starter bundle in this way before, and I'm like, why the heck not? I love emotions. I started with a starter kit or a starter bundle because it's truly the best bang for your buck. You get head to toe wellness, like I said, but look at all these amazing oils that are for emotional support. They might be staples, they might be supports. You might not have ever thought of them, thought to use them in this way. But our body is a whole. So our body wants to be in homeostasis. It wants to feel good. It wants to have good breathing. It wants to have good body movement. It wants to have good digestion. It wants to have good, memory and mood and mind. Like, our body is meant to work in unison and homeostasis and harmony, right? So although I talked about these ones as main staples, those might be the ones that you want to use every day, kind of as like emotional support and balance, and maybe carry some of those with you on hand for when you're feeling overwhelmed or anxious, or in a mood that you want to try support and adjust. And then the other ones that are supports should just be in your daily life, because like I said, the body, homeostasis, harmony, it wants to work for us and it wants to feel well. And if we don't have those staples along with our emotional supports, it's just out of balance, right? So tenting you can do like I showed you. Diffusing obviously is an amazing way to get oils into your body. Rubbing them on the bottoms of your feet, having a bath with Epsom salts, breathing, meditation. Those are things that I like to do, especially with emotional supporting oils, and just truly making it part of your routine. So if you are brand new to this, reach out to myself or the person that invited you to watch this. We will guide you, we'll support you, we'll love you, we will plug you into all of our amazing supports and resources, whatever is going to serve you best so that you can learn to support your body. If you don't have your oils yet, please take a look at the starter bundles, because they are truly the best option when you get started. And ask questions, ask questions, ask questions. If it's not me, reach out to someone, like I said, who invited you, but making sure that you're doing it as part of your routine. So if your oils are sitting out on your, let's say, counter, or sitting in a box and you never use them, then what use are they to you? They might look pretty. They might, this little roller looks lovely. It's pretty. But if I don't use it, what support is it to me? Right? You have to get used to that routine and rhythm. And that might not come easy for you, and that's okay. So start one little step. Adding in an oil in the morning, or anchoring it together, like habit stacking and anchoring. So filling your diffuser before bed. That might be your first step. Your next step might be, rolling an emotional support oil behind your ears before you brush your teeth. Little simple steps are really going to make the biggest changes. And I have been using oils for 4 years now, and I can truly say that I feel more balanced, I feel more calm and grounded, and I just have the awareness to be able to say, I might not be in a good place. I need to do this, this, and this. Or, oh, I think I need to take care of myself in this way, right? It's just about little simple shifts that you can do to support your body and your mind and truly try to create that harmony and that homeostasis that our bodies truly long for. So I hope that was very helpful. I've never talked about the starter bundle this way, and I have no idea why, because it was such a cool way to share the amazing supports that they have and different ways of the body that we can support. So see you guys, ask your questions. I would love to see if there's any ones. Lots of perfumes, people loving to diffuse. All right, yeah, emotions and oils and baths. Yeah, emotional support oils are where it's at. So see you guys. Thank you.